What's up, people? It's your girl Adeola. First and foremost, I'd like to commend my Kenyan brothers and sisters for conducting a peaceful 2013 election. Yeah! Yeah, so the election in Kenya was very peaceful. If not for some troublemakers who went and killed more than 10 people in Mombasa some hours before the polls were opened. If not for that, the election was very peaceful this year compared with 2007 election in which more than 1,200 people were killed when the result was announced. So this was relatively very peaceful. So kudos to my Kenyan brothers and sisters. Even though the ballot system was down for some hours, people waited patiently. Yes, they were very patient. There was no like PDP thug beating up people, you know. I mean, I'm so sorry. Did I just say PDP? My bad. I forgot we were talking about Kenya. I'm so sorry. PDP is actually, you know, the party of Nigerian president. Yeah, what was I thinking? Anyway, I'm trying to say that the election in Kenya was very peaceful. You know, the only thing is that I'm really going to miss Lucy Kibaki. Yes, that woman, what a powerful woman. Yes, very delightful. I'm going to miss Lucy and all her drama, you know. Who am I going to talk about now that Miss Lucy is stepping down? Yes, and her husband, they're stepping down. Very sad, very, very sad. I'm really going to miss those people. Those are good people, good people, yes. And just like Kenya, Ghana's election was also very well organized, you know, including the presidential debates. In fact, Kenya had a female presidential candidate this year. Yes, so the two countries did really well. But I've been telling my friends, I've been telling everybody that just wait till 2015. Nigeria will do better than all these countries. Yeah, so you know that Mr. Jega, the president of the Electoral Commission in Nigeria, has announced to us that come 2015, now we too will be able to use electronic ballot machines. Yeah! I mean, no more papers. No more papers. So for where? You know, like the first lady was telling us.
Come April election, where are you going to press your hand? It should be umbrella.
Where would you put your hand? There's no more putting hand. It's going to be on the computer. Yes. In fact, Mr. Jega said that they've already awarded that contract. You get what I'm saying? Somebody has been given maybe some billions of naira, whatever, to look into making that possible. I know they tried it in 2011 and it didn't work. Yeah, but this time around they've assured us, you know, they released a statement to assure us that by 2015 that the thing would work. Yes. You know, wait, I think I see some comments. It looks like some Nigerians are very excited about this new development. They're very excited just like me and they've commented. So let me just read some of their comments for you. Okay, so this one says that story another opportunity to loot and massively fail the people again. I'm sorry, there must be a mistake somewhere. That is not the kind of comment I was looking for. Okay, there's another one. This one has to be good. Is this not the same Jega guy that screwed up the last election? I beg, make we talk another thing. Oops, I'm really sorry, my people. I'm very sure that there will be at least one good comment. Let me just, you know, take a better look. Of what use is voting in Nigeria again? When whether you vote or not, the chosen one will win. Forget about that one. Let's forget about that one. Let's act as if we didn't hear that, you know. Just one more. Let me read one more. Even if not for ATM machine then they vote, PDP will still win. Ooh. Unless Nigerians change their attitude, open their eyes, and stop voting this band of incompetent renegades. What? Incompetent renegades? Who be that? Like, seriously? What will be your name? Mad Prof or whatever your name is. How dare you call Mr. President's administration incompetent renegades? Did you hear that? Oh my god. You see what I'm saying? This is what I've been talking about. You see Nigerians, they are becoming too bold. Too much, too bold. You see what somebody went and wrote about Mr. President's administration, calling him incompetent renegade? Nigerians, they are becoming too bold. They are not afraid to say anything. And you know what? Nigerians are the only ones who do not appreciate having such a great leader as President Goodluck Jonathan. Yes, bless his soul, such a great man. They are the only ones that don't appreciate their president. The other day while Mr. President was visiting Ivory Coast, do you know that the president of Ivory Coast honored President Goodluck Jonathan by promising to give Nigerian students 50 scholarships so they can come and study at the National Polytechnic in Ivory Coast. So imagine the president got home and released a statement, like quickly, you know, that they will select one student from each state of Nigeria, you know, as if they just won the lottery. Yes, you know, that they will select one student, you know, the good student, so that they can go and study at this polytechnic in Ivory Coast. Yes, I mean, that is huge honor. That's great. That's great, especially if you can remember that in the 70s, in the 80s, even in the 90s, yes, all these African countries, they used to come to Nigeria to study. At that time, there was no school like UI, ABU, Unilag, you know, Unijos, OAU. In the whole of Africa, this were, you know, the real schools, and they're all in Nigeria, you know, back in the days. Get what I'm saying? But now we're being offered scholarships to go and study in Ivory Coast. A country of like 20-something million people. We are more than 160 million. But now they are giving us scholarship to come and study, and they are just recovering from war. But already the place is so nice that they are able to offer scholarship to Nigerian students. And just look at this one. This is one of the female hostels in one of the universities in Ivory Coast. Not the polytechnic that Mr. President wants us to go to, but one of the universities. This is one of the female hostels. Isn't that nice? Oh, by the way, polytechnics in other countries can be equivalent to universities. It's not like it is in Nigeria, where if you say yeah something poly, they look down on you. So the question now is Nigeria progressing or are we regressing? No offense to my people from Ivory Coast, so you guys are doing well, you know, do well, you know, do well. I'm just saying that we need to get our acts together. Instead of us going to study there, they're supposed to be the ones coming to study in Nigeria. But right now, there's usually like strike and, you know, called society fighting and all those stuff. And guess what? We're not spending billions of naira every year sending our students to Ghana to study, you know, to South Africa, to so many other African countries, even South Sudan. No offense, my South Sudanese people, you know, I do well, but we are sending people to South Sudan. Imagine. And this is not to talk about the billions of naira that we spend in America and Europe, you know, trying to get a degree. No offense, Mr. President, you know, I do well, but it looks like these other African countries, they are getting their acts together, you know, while we are still busy wallowing in corruption. I mean, what are we doing? That's just an innocent observation. You get what I'm saying? And I'm just keeping it real. So speaking of other countries, I just want to thank Togo, you know, yes, for working on their electricity, especially making sure that the electricity at the airport is constant and reliable. You know that lately a lot of people and businesses in Togo are switching to solar panels. Yes, even in villages, you know, like this one. Because Togo is taking care of business and their airport has a reliable electricity, that's why they were able to save Nigeria from a potential plane crash. And I'm sure many of you did not even know about it. What happened was a plane owned by Emirates Airline was about to touch down at the Lagos Murtala Mohammed Airport when the pilots realized that there's like total blackout, and they were like, wait a minute, where's the runway? It's supposed to be somewhere here. You know, they kept looking. You know, the plane almost crashed because they were already descending and the tires were already out, except that they couldn't find where to land, you know. So they kept looking, where is the runway now? That thing is supposed to be. Did you see anything? Nothing. Total darkness. Everything was like dark and black. Guess what? That was how the pilots took off back in the air. They kept circling the air for 20 minutes over our prestigious international airport. Yes, waiting to hear up NEPA, you know. So they waited and waited. So nothing. There was no light for 20 minutes. They couldn't land. So after circling for 20 minutes, they were like, let's fly to another country. At least so we can land. So that was how they flew into Togo, where they landed safely. Yeah, I'm talking about Togo, you know, one of the smallest countries in Africa, you know, a country of less than 10 million people, but somehow their airport has reliable electricity. Yeah, what a shame, what a shame. So they waited in Togo until they got a phone call that, guess what, up NEPA, lights don't come, lights don't come. Yeah, so they flew back to Lagos, so the passengers were finally able to make it to Lagos. Yes, but it's very sad, very sad that we had to go and land in Togo. Yes, because we didn't have power. My guess is that they didn't have fuel for generator at the Lagos Mohammed Airport, because, you know, oil is a little bit scarce right now as we speak. Yeah, even though we produce oil is very scarce right now. You know, I heard that the federal government is owing fuel marketers 100 billion naira. 100 billion. Just imagine. Wait, by the way, why do we still need marketers? Oh, I forgot. I forgot that we still don't refine our own oil. Yes. We produce crude oil, but we don't refine the crude oil. So we ship crude oil to other countries, countries like Niger, just imagine. And then they refine the oil. So yeah, we have to import it back at high price, which is where the marketers come in. So instead of fixing our refineries so we can refine our own oil right in Nigeria, we have to like ship them out to other countries, and then we have to import them back, yes, at high price, which is why the government has to pay billions of naira to the marketers, or let me say owing fuel marketers 100 billion naira. Yes. Oh, I forgot we also import our electricity, from Cameroon. Yeah, we import a lot of things from Cameroon. That is how we power Adamawa. Yes. And right now many of our businesses are now relocating to Ghana because they have constant electricity, yes. Despite all this, our leaders, they still live in delusion, that we are the giant of Africa, whatever, yada yada. Just think about the president of Venezuela, may he so rest in peace. Yeah, Hugo Chavez. Venezuela also has oil, and that man, before he died, he made sure that they used the oil wealth to develop his country. Today, if you go to Venezuela, you will hardly tell that there used to be a lot of poverty in this country, just because the president, he diverted all the oil wealth into his own country. But in Nigeria, even though we produce oil, we have to buy it at high price. It is well, it is well. But what do I know, I'm just keeping it real. I'm very sure that you guys saw the video of Mido Masir, the Mozambican guy who was killed by South African policemen because he parked on the wrong side of the road.
A group of policemen are trying to arrest him for parking on the wrong side of the road. Mido is struggling. Like many others, he's worried about what will happen to him at the police station. From a slightly different angle, the mobile phone footage shows him now shackled to the back of the police van with handcuffs. He's dragged screaming for 500 meters. The man who filmed those pictures is too scared to be identified.
Oh my God, can you imagine such a level of cruelty among Africans, or Africans to Africans? Hey, no matter what this guy did, no matter what he did, such a punishment is not justified at all. Now, what pains me, is the way that the spokesperson of the police watchdog in South Africa, the way the spokesperson responded on TV the next day when they were interviewing him about the event.
So, Lamine, a very good morning to you. Have you seen the footage?
Good morning. I saw the footage and some clips last night. Our investigators have also seen the footage, but we have not located the source or who recorded the footage. Would like to take a statement from the person who recorded.
I mean, the footage is there already. Do you need any statement with regards to that? Can you not go by what you see on the tape?
Well, the footage has to be authenticated.
Did you hear that? Seriously? He said that they needed to find the person that filmed the event first of all, so that they can authenticate the video? Seriously? In other words, he's saying that they want to be sure that the footage is real. And even though they have the dead body of the guy as evidence, yes, and the doctors have testified that the guy died of head injuries with internal bleeding because, his head kept hitting the truck as they were dragging him. Yeah. Very sad, very sad. How ridiculous is that? You need the person that filmed it to come forward before you would know this footage is for real? There's no way that the person who took the footage will step forward. Seeing what the policeman did to one man, why will he step forward? And I'm just glad though that the people of South Africa protested and they didn't give up until finally they suspended those policemen that were involved. That is what I call hypocrisy, considering the fact that this is the same country where a famous Olympian killed his girlfriend, and he still got bailed out. I know he's going back to court and all that, but for now, the guy got bailed. Whereas a taxi driver parks on the wrong side of the road and he got killed instantly. Something ain't right. Something ain't right. Oh, by the way, if you're planning on going to South Africa anytime soon and you have dreadlocks, yes, please do yourself a favor and buy a wig. Yes, buy a nice wig. Yes, this one we do. And just hide your dreadlocks, yes, under the wig. You get what I'm saying? And if you can't afford a nice wig, buy something like this. Yes, this one will work too. Yes, and just make sure that you hide your dreadlocks. Yes, because right now people are stealing dreadlocks like crazy. In South Africa, I'm not kidding you. You'll be talking with somebody body. Before you know it, somebody else behind you has already shaved your head. Yeah, your dreadlocks is gone. Everything is gone. They are selling them to people who want instant long dreadlocks. That's how they are making money. They are making a lot of money. So watch out. Although I don't know why they can't just buy attachment, you know, like we do in Nigeria. You can make anything with attachment now. Whatever. You know, when I saw the footage of how they killed this guy, I was very, very disappointed. I was really disappointed. I was like, South Africa, come on. You know, you are well respected now when it comes to Africa. How come? Which one be this? You know, if not that somebody filmed the event, we may never know that this happened. And that's an eye-opener for other Africans, you know, who usually accept everything that uniformed men do without questioning them. Although I must commend, some people are already doing that, not just in South Africa. Like this Nigerian guy, Segun Olo, who does this series that is called Why We Are Like This, about Nigeria, you know, very nice series. The guy showed the video of this policewoman in Lagos beating Okada guy. She's trying to take his bike by force and the guy didn't want to release the bike and she was beating the guy. Meanwhile, the same policewoman smiles when a soldier that is driving Danfo parks where he's not supposed to park. In fact, the guy was even calling passengers right there in front of policemen. They couldn't do anything because he's a soldier. See how she's smiling? See how she's smiling when it's a soldier, and although I don't blame her, yes, because I know how soldiers can be in Nigeria. Yes, I don't blame her. But should that be the case? Should that be accepted? Last week, you know, I told you guys that soldiers killed 4 students at the University of Nasarawa. Up till now, no one has been arrested. No one was questioned just because they are uniformed men. I know it's not all uniformed men in Nigeria that act like this, so don't write me a letter about that. Yes, I'm just saying that majority of them do. I mean, can you drive like 10 miles in Nigeria without seeing a police checkpoint? And what do they do when you get there? Do they even look at your boot anymore? And do they look at your trunk? No. They just ask you for money. Yes, if you have money, you can carry anything through the police checkpoint. Yes. So please, my people, and all over Africa, let's keep using our cell phones, you know, to expose these atrocities. Enough is enough. We are supposed to be making progress in our fight against corruption. And by the way, do you know that they killed the police commissioner of Kwara State? Very, very sad. The question is, who is safe? If a police commissioner is not safe, who is safe? They said he was killed by unknown gunmen. I keep hearing that unknown gunmen. That thing makes me, what is unknown gunmen again? We had Boko Haram, now it's Ansaru, and then it's unknown gunmen. Shebi Mr. President promised us last year, you know, that by June, there will be no more Boko Haram. But not only has Boko Haram remained, though now we have Ansaru, and then we have unknown gunmen, and they're all operating freely in Nigeria. And our leaders are still cruising around the world, acting as if it's not a big deal. We are now used to it, you know, and that's the scary part. It's been happening for so long that it's no longer an issue with us. We are now used to it, and that is very, very scary. I'm hoping that we would wake up to the reality of what we are accepting as norm. But what do I know? I'm just keeping it real. I hope you're familiar with the CIA in the US, the Central Intelligence Agency. They have a fact book about every country in the world. Now, the problem is, I have a problem with their fact book. Yes, that's the problem. I have a problem with their fact book, yes. Just imagine, they just released their 2013 list of the 25 most miserable places in the world. And in case you're wondering, Nigeria is not on the list. So all of you, the enemies of progress, no, Nigeria is not on the list. Thank God. We escaped that one. Yeah, Nigeria is a great place. We are not miserable, thank God. But where I have a problem with the fact thing is because somehow Zimbabwe is #1 on the list. I was like, what? I mean, how can that be? Didn't these people see the flamboyant 89th birthday that the president of Zimbabwe just celebrated? I mean, how can Zimbabwe be #1 on the list? I mean, with 89 kilograms of cake. Yeah, that is a cake. The thing is huge and wide, you know, and it's heavy. It's 89 kilo. Yes. And then we had 89 cows in honor of the president, and 89 balloons were released in the air that day. I mean, how can such a country, you know, be considered miserable? That is what I don't understand. These Americans, they come up with this fact book thing. How can such a country be considered miserable now? You know, maybe they didn't look at the statistics of Zimbabwe. Yeah, I don't think they did. Let's take a look together, my people. Yes. So unemployment rate in Zimbabwe right now is 94%. 94%? Oh my God. Only 6% is formally employed? What? But wait a minute. If only 6% is employed, how come the government ran out of money after paying them? Remember, they had like $217 left in the government's bank account. after paying salaries in January. Remember? I mean, how can they run out if they're only paying 6% of, you know, people that are supposed to be working? How can they run out of money? So how will they even pay everybody if if everybody were to be employed? How would they even pay everybody? Zimbabwe, I mean, okay, I don't think I want to look at another fact right now. I think that's enough. You know what? Forget about the bad economy or the fact that his country is now considered #1 miserable place to live in. Mugabe is having a blast. His birthday was elaborate. I heard that they spent $600,000 on that birthday. Yes, taxpayers' money. And by the way, Zimbabwe is now spending American dollars. You know that they had like super high inflation one time that made their currency no longer relevant. So imagine spending $600,000 on birthday in a country with 94% unemployment rate. Now that's just sad. The guy is having a blast, you know. The only problem is that he said, you know, on his birthday, he said that he feels lonely. He said all his age mates are dead, you know. I mean, don't you feel sorry for the guy? I mean, poor Mugabe, Kai. You just have to feel sorry for him, yes. By the way, Liberia is now #2 on that list of the most miserable places to live, followed by Burkina Faso. You know, everything bad in this world, they just have to have some African countries in it. I mean, shouldn't that be a wake-up call for us Africans and to take care of our business? Although I don't know how much to trust this CIA Factbook thing, because of all the 25 countries listed in terms of the miserable places to live in 2013, 12 of them are African countries. 12 African countries. Wow. Now what do we do now? And what shocked me is that Kenya is on that list. I said, what? How can Kenya be on the list of the most? Seriously? CIA Factbook, you know, they based this thing on CPI, inflation rate, and unemployment rate. Anyway, I'm hoping though that this will be a wake-up call for us Africans, you know, to take care of our businesses so that we'll stop being on such terrible lists. Yes, wake up, Africa, wake up. We can also be on the list of the best places to live, eh? I'm just keeping it real. So just like so many of you, I'm familiar with prisons that look like this. So you can imagine how shocked I was to hear that there's a country where the highest sentence a criminal could get is 21 years in prison. I was like, what? No death penalty. Wow. But not only that, while the criminals are in prison, they'll be learning new skills, including music, you know, different kind of trades. I was like, what? Are you kidding me? This is supposed to be a prison? And then their facility is nothing like what I know a prison to look like. Just take a look. What you just saw is a prison. I mean, they play sports, they produce music, they learn all kinds of trade in the prison. They even have a place to host their family members overnight, like if they come to visit them. Yes, honestly, it's just like you're in school, you know, like a really good school. No wonder Norway has one of the lowest crime rates in the whole world. You know why? Because when the prisoners get out of prison, they have something to do which they learned in prison. Even America doesn't beat Norway when it comes to that. Just listen to these figures. In 2009, 71 out of every 100,000 Norwegians, only 71 out of every 100,000 are incarcerated. Only 71 are incarcerated. Yeah, but here in the US, 743 out of every 100,000 people in America, 743 are incarcerated. Yeah, I mean, of course, you know that the US has the highest incarceration rate. Oh, by the way, if you have somebody here in the US and they send you clothes and you live in Africa, please double check what's written on the clothes before you wear them. It's just an advice, because, you know, take a look at this guy. Yes, I guess his brother sent him this outfit from Chicago. He didn't realize that this is a prison suit. Maybe the brother got out of prison and decided, what do I do with this prison suit? Let me send it to Nigeria. The guy, they wear the thing, he did shakara anyhow. He doesn't know that it's a prison suit. Yeah, so back to what I was saying. Also in 2009, only about 20% of criminals get rearrested in Norway. Whereas here in the US, it's estimated that 67% of America's prisoners are rearrested and 52% are reincarcerated. So you can see that the crime rate here is different from the one in Norway. Which is why I like to say that prisons should reform and not deform people. But before we can reform our prisons, you know, we have to reform our societies. And if our societies are not reformed, we'll just continue to live in prisons. I mean, fenced buildings, yes, fenced buildings, fenced houses, yes. You know that the richer you are in Nigeria, especially, the taller your prison cell. I mean, sorry, I meant to say that the taller your fence, yes, the taller your fence is, which actually looks like a prison. If you take a proper look, you have to build a tall wall to surround yourself, you know, just to make sure that armed robbers and hire killers have trouble getting in, because they still come. You just want to make sure they have some trouble getting in, or that you are able to wake up before they get in, because they still rob people with fences, but for how long would we do that? And they don't have fences in countries like this, you know. So we really need to reform our societies, because if we don't reform our society and we have a prison like this one, like the Norway prison, if we have a prison like this in Nigeria, everybody will start committing offense because they want to go to this kind of prison if the prison looks better than the society. So anyway, I'm really hoping that we can learn a lesson from Norway. I'm just keeping it real. Alright y'all, it's been real and I'm keeping it real right up in here. Until next week, I'ma see y'all later. Peace out.